What is up, schmoedown fans? We are back for a classic episode of Spin from the Reel. And boy, this really feels classic because just me and Chris, we only got 3 matches to talk about and no pay-per-view.
No pay-per-view. Well, dude, it's been from the Real Classic. It's like watching ESPN Classic, just not as fun. What's going on, everyone? My name is Chris Anthony Lopez, and 3 matches, dude. This is weird because usually we have 50 matches to talk about, and I'm usually sitting on the floor in my bedroom, but it's just us on a Monday, And shout out to Galaxy Geeks in the chat. Just saw y'all pop in. What's going on? They had a show. Go check out their show.
Yeah. I was on their DC Fandom show this past Saturday. It was really nice hanging out with those guys. Really enjoyed it.
Shout out to Galaxy Geeks.
That was long overdue for me, honestly.
Yeah, Monday.
I know Suge's done their stuff with it.
Monday's become a schmoedown night, apparently. So yeah. I'm very eager to see how Mondays just slowly take over schmoedown from this point going forward.
With the best up and coming show, the only schmoedown show of color, bringing you all the great stuff, including those amazing run-ins. Let's be honest, it's us and by extension, Schmo Me the Money, our boys Jeff and Buck.
Shout out.
Who have been giving you these run-ins and all the excitement. Let's keep that going over here. We're the first ones to do it. We're going to be the only ones to do it, and we love doing this stuff for you.
This show's been it could be chaotic at points because of all the people that like to jump into our shows and who's inviting who on and when Suge books guests. And by the way, Suge will not be joining us. He's taking some time, Yeah. We got lives.
Chris took his time. I took my time. Yeah. Suge gets his time too.
That's the perk of having 3 hosts on one show is that when one of us takes a leave of absence, whether we're moving halfway across the country or we just need a personal break or whatever, we're here and we can still do a show. Shout out to Jeremy Miller in the chat, Corey Cameron. What's good, y'all? What is good? I hope y'all have a great Monday evening. And just before we start talking some movie trivia, I am on one of the busiest streets I've ever lived on. So if you hear trucks, cars,
well, you live in Chicago now, so
yeah, I live in Chicago.
No, so you live in Chicago. You're in the city. No excuses.
Right, it's gonna happen, and I'll cry about it later when the time comes. But we are gonna talk some movie trivia because we had 3 matches, no pay-per-view. We have a butt ton of schmoedown next week, especially with that pay-per-view and that big show that is going to go down.
Which I can say right now, next Monday, we got either Frankie Alvarez or Rick Radis coming on, or maybe we get Rick the Rash again. I don't know.
Oh God, I mean I don't know anymore because I feel like if we DM Frankie, it's going to be Rick Radis responding as Frankie, I guess. Like,
no, Frankie has his Twitter back. Frankie has his Twitter back.
So for now, I mean, if Rick can hack his Twitter once, he can do it again. So who the hell knows? I don't even know anymore. But you know what we got going on is just some fun schmoedown content, and someone's gonna be joining us next week. But it's just gonna be us. Just gonna be Matt and I today. Shout out to my boy E-Man in the chat. E-Man, where at, Chris? Lived in Hyde Park for a minute. Hey, I am in Pilsen right now, E-Man. I'm in Pilsen.
Hey, Cleveland claims you and your brother. Word up.
Wait, stop speaking for Cleveland.
I'm the only Cleveland guy here. No, actually, first 5 years of my life, I was actually living in
Where are you living now?
Mayfield, which is a suburb of Cleveland. 15. Okay. Bro, you do not know how the city of Cleveland rides. If you live within a 20-mile radius of downtown, it's Cleveland. That's how we ride.
See, and like you sound, I'm not going to get into this conversation right now. But
you've been to Cleveland.
Thank you for asking. I've seen Cleveland. I had a good time in Cleveland. I love Cleveland. It gets way too much hate. That people can go vacation in Cleveland. I'll say that. But E-Man, yes, some great food in Pilsen. Shout out to E-Man in the chat. But let's talk some movie trivia. Yeah, he can be right for once. That's fine. What was the match on Wednesday? It was the Damons. Oh, yeah. Let's start with the Damons.
The most civil war of all time.
Dude, okay, before the actual match itself, the hype for a match like Alex and Molly. This is something we've been wanting to see since Molly started playing in Star Wars, because we knew how good Alex was. Alex has always been good at these Star Wars matches, and his record and his Star Wars title reign proves that he's the best Star Wars player as of right now that we've ever seen in the schmoedown, and his history proves that. But with this match with Molly, we're like, ooh, like, is this Damon we've gotten this year has been weird, been a little off almost, and my man missed some questions in this match too. So it's not the unbeatable Damon that we've seen over the last few years. But the one thing I will say is I was very underwhelmed by this. And maybe it's the digital stuff, maybe it's the it kind of just happened on a Wednesday, and it wasn't like on a pay-per-view, or it wasn't on a Friday. This match should have been Friday just so you can build more hype to it, but I understand why it wasn't.
I'm with you there.
Because it just happened.
And I think that's honestly one of the biggest issues I had with it, because this is something the fan base has wanted for the longest.
Right.
You hyped it up when you dropped that schedule, and we're like, oh my God, we're getting Damon versus Damon, right, or Damon versus Demolanta. This is gonna be insane.
Demolanta.
Sorry, Demolanta. Thank you.
Demolanta.
But you get my point. Like, you hyped it up, and then it fell flat.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. It was a good.
And you release it as the Wednesday match, the Patreon match.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like it felt off. Like the whole, and again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm super booty hurt that the schmoedown messed up. They obviously placed it where it was at for a reason, and that's fine. Like I still watched it, like I'm not gonna boycott. Oh, Damon should have been on the Friday or pay-per-view. That's fine. That's just my opinion. It just didn't live up. And again, maybe I'm talking like Christian, how the digital era is just like not where the party's at right now. Right. And I totally understand that. And I think the digital era, or the digital part of this, definitely played a part. They should have played in the same room. I don't know why they couldn't. I don't know the logistics, how these matches are done over StreamYard or Zoom, however they're done. But it would have been more fun if they did it in the same room. And I know people in the Facebook group are talking about it, on the subreddit. They were. It was just off. It felt weird to me. I still liked it. I still thought it was enjoyable. I thought it would have been bigger, and it should have been bigger.
I watched the match, and I'm like, okay. It felt like a normal match to me, and I guess because of how in my mind we've built this up, and it sucks because Molly Damon is better than her record shows. Let's say that.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because she played a great match. She played a great match, and Jeremy Miller says, I like the changes they can do, making intros for players more short. It only works in person, not online.
Yeah. I mean, that too. I really like. I still have Dan Murrell and Lon Harris pulled up on my TV, and the whole video is an hour long.
And that's what classic schmoedown was.
Yeah, and I don't want to turn this into a conversation of the videos are too long, but making these subtle changes, and again, this one exists next season. So the things I'm talking about with the tournament, the singles tournament, or even Dan Murrell matches going forward, Lon Harris matches going forward, it won't be presented like this. But the Star Wars match, it was just fun. It was, or I shouldn't say it was just that, but it was fun seeing the married couple compete against each other in a tournament setting. And of course, I think everyone was rooting for Molly to beat Alex. Yeah. Let's not act all crass. Last week on the show, we did predictions. I believe we all said Alex.
We said Alex, what we wanted Molly.
Right. So going into it, they're competing, and it's feels like a big deal, but Alex winning in the end, okay. I think it's hard to bet against Alex nowadays, unless you're Andrew DiMolanta, then we can bet against you. But it just happened, I just thought it was a match. It was another match, and this high profile Damon versus Damon should have been bigger, but I understand why it wasn't, But I agree with your point, Matt. It should have been. Why was it the Wednesday match?
Yeah.
That's my big thing. What's up, Ryan Christensen in the chat? What's good, brother? Hope you're having a good
Corey
one.
Cameron, I was surprised to cut a lot of the banter in the Merlin Harris match.
And it was, and for that one with Merlin Harris, and we'll get to that one in a little bit. It's fun, especially when you get two personalities like that, and how big that it wasn't like a monumental win for Dan, but he first player to hit 20 wins.
Yeah.
No, that's also feels like a pretty big deal. And with Damon versus Damon, going back to that for a second, it was cool. Like it was cool, but I thought it should have been bigger. But I understand why it wasn't at the same time.
Yeah.
I
don't know. It's just considering we spent all last year building the possibility up, all this offseason, all after the draft building it up. What if it's going to happen? And hey.
See Jeremy Miller in the chat. I'm okay with the longer intro if it's a rookie's first match. Otherwise, keep it short when the majority of the audience knows who it is after a while. Sure, yeah. But at the same time, you got to go into matches as if no one's seen these people before.
Malcolm hits it on the head for me. I don't mind the cuts, but it makes it feel a bit hollow. Yeah, and I guess that's the thing. I think I got to the point, honestly, where Christian is, where I was all for digital for the longest time, and then the last month or so, I finally you know what? We got those matches at Collision, and then we got the Cantina matches, and I'm like, you know what? This digital stuff, and it ain't cutting it for me anymore.
And that's the conversation I think we had when we first found out we were going to be digital for a while on this show a year ago, or over a year ago at this point, when it was like, oh, how is it going to transfer? And for the most part, the digital era has been a success. I think the transfer has been a success, but it's gone on for way longer than anybody imagined. And that's the kicker, And to your point, Matt, we saw the Collision, the Cantina matches. When we got that inkling, that taste of in-person matches again, we're like, wait a minute. This is what we fell in love with in the first place. And seeing the crowds there, hearing the reactions, the boos, the cheers, whatever the hell. Like, it was just fun. What's up, Taylor Cleek, host of Really Scared, Thursdays, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. It's a different vibe, and that's something that Suge would say. Suge would be saying the same thing if he was here. That's a lot of people's 2 cents, is that these in-person matches that we're getting just make the schmoedown feel like how it used to. And I second that wholeheartedly, especially after that pay-per-view last week. And the digital era it's not hidden right anymore. And thank God we're nearing the end. Like, Christian's made it a point to say, okay, it's nearing its end. Season 8, we're going to do digital into Spectacular. Spectacular, we're going nuts with the live show. Next year, we're doing live matches. Damon v. Damon would have suited a pay-per-view. That could have main evented a damn pay-per-view. That could have been a great undercard for a show. A great undercard.
It really could have.
But at the same time, I understand the circumstances. Like I said, I don't want to feel like I'm bashing anybody. I get what's going on. But this match should have had more weight to it. If and when we see Andrew versus Nikki DiMolanta, I hope they learn from this and just don't put it out on a Wednesday, or give it to patrons, because it should be bigger. And when we see Damon 2, if and when it happens, let's make it a big deal. Like, that match has been highly sought after for years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for that, and it just happened. Like, it just sort of happened. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it happened, because it was a good match. 23-20 final, goes down to the 5. Like, or goes down to Molly's 5, I should say. Because Alex didn't need it, because why else would he? But there's a cool challenge in it, keeping things interesting. But I had a feeling when Adam Went was introduced as Molly's manager, I'm like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah.
Like, I had a feeling that Molly was.
But Adam, keep in mind, Adam, great challenge again. Even though it didn't go his way, I think he had a fair and valid challenge. Right. It was proven incorrect though, and it just sucks.
No, right, and Adam just had bad luck all year, and that I was just riding the wave of that. I'm not saying Adam's a bad person or anything. Like, I love Adam Webb, but his record managing and competing isn't the best this year. And like Molly spinning Rogue One, it was good for her for the most part. Like besides the steal that Alex inevitably took and got those extra 2 points to go into the third round. But it sucks to see, Molly's year end on a downer like that. And the match should have been presented bigger. It should have been something grander. But I mean, we'll see when Alex moves on, because people want to see Alex's redemption tour, after losing to Demolanta the 2 times. And he had that string in geekdom, but folks want to see his run in Star Wars. When people think of the Star Wars division, they think of Alex Damon. And now it's out there, right? Because who's he playing? Who's on that side of the bracket?
The winner of Nikki and who did she play? I think we still have the brackets up here. No, we don't have the bracket.
Oh, we delete all the good stuff. So who did Nikki play? Oh my god.
Yeah, I got the match.
Has she played?
I don't know if she's played yet.
Oh, okay. Leo Logan confirming. Thank you. I must have been tripping. Alex and Nikki.
Yep.
Nikki DiMolanta.
October 27th. That is on the schedule.
Oh, geez. Oh, God. So Alex Damon and Nikki DiMolanta. That's going to be the quarterfinals. Ross, thank you. E-Man, Shug, Malcolm.
We're top
10. That's why we forget.
Hey, it's the guys who had their breaks first.
Thanks,
and didn't pay attention to Schmoedown during that time.
Yeah, Ross, and she did beat Ross. Yeah. Right. It's clicking now.
Yes.
So, and then the winner, according to Malcolm, it's fact, not just according to Malcolm, plays the winner of Laura and GL on the other side. Right. So, with this.
Chris, we don't have to talk about the Den. The Den show's not here tonight.
Well, no, we got to talk about the Den. We got to talk Old Guard and Pressure.
You sure? You sure? Are you
positive? On second thought, we can gloss over that. I'm kidding. But now Alex, tough matchup against Molly, but now you face Nikki DiMolanta, and Nikki has done something in this tournament Alex already hasn't done, and that's go perfect in the first round. Because Alex didn't miss one, but at the same time, it's Alex Damon, and this man could go nuts at any point. Maybe he was holding back, Matt. You're trying to play it cool, like, oh, it's a pretty civil war.
It was.
Yes.
I don't see Damon playing with the same heat and fire he did all the past few years. Is Damon's heart still in it?
That's a great question to ask. Like, is that because he's been like that all season? Yeah. Even when he played Andrew, it was.
No, I feel like it's since he lost to Andrew.
The first
that
time?
Intensity's been gone.
Because that second match, I don't want to say it's rough, but by Star Wars match quality definition,
Alex Damon Star Wars quality.
Definitely. Especially for Alex, that match was not too kind to him. And you're right. Since then, it's been weird. Even when he played Inner Geekdom, he felt like he was just there to play,
Yeah.
But in this one, maybe he just felt comfy because he was playing Molly, and that could totally be it. But now you're facing Nikki, and if Nikki's proven anything, so she's pretty damn good at Star Wars, and she's taught her husband some great things about Star Wars in her short time of being a Star Wars fan. Oh, but I'm very intrigued for DiMolanta and for Alex Damon. Very, very intrigued. And Laura and Gold Leader on the other side. This Star Wars tournament so far, it's short, but it's hitting. It's hitting all the right beats for me. I just wish the presentation of certain matches were grander than others, but I digress.
I mean, like when you hear the word Civil War, you think to something like the Team Action Civil War. That was Civil War. You had the excitement,
and you had the presentation in that match too.
I'm sure it was a live match, but I'm pretty sure this wouldn't have been a live match, even if you know what I mean.
Probably just look how they treated it. It was another match on the schedule, And to your point, Galaxy Geeks in the chat, do you think it's because of Star Wars as a whole they've been off? Yes.
Yes and no, because it feels like that team always went as Jeff and Alex went. And when you lose Mark, then Jeff retires, and now Damon's losing. All you got right now is Nick Harley and Jacoby and Janine.
At least towards the top. And then maybe she got the bad juju from drafting them Barstool guys.
And we haven't got to see our boy Zach Burkett, who played really well in that first tournament, and unfortunately,
big love to Zach Burkett.
We love Zach over here, so it's just rough all around, man.
The Stars have had an underwhelming season solely because you lose the Android so early, and then that loss that the Otter couple had to Shazam, one of the best, if not the best teams match of all time. Janine went on a tear. Jacoby showed some love. Slick Nick had some great performances. We talked to him last week. Shout out to Slick Nick.
Yes.
But it's just I was going to say the Den. The Stars the Den have had an off season too, but the Stars have had a hard time. And with how the draft went, maybe something is just a little off. Again, that Barstool draft, maybe gave him some bad juju. But the Stars have just been off. And I don't know if that plays into Alex, but like what Matt said earlier, the loss of DeMilan to the first one, especially with how he lost, picking you one, getting it reversed, and then Andrew beating him.
The answer hitting him at the second after the time's up.
Yeah, he's like, can I tell you, please? It's asking, begging to just say the question or say the answer. It was a rough way to lose and then having to do it again the next month. And like we said, in that way that it happened for both competitors. I don't even want to say just Alex. Jeremy Miller in the chat, the Stars didn't have the best draft, but Alex and the Odd Couple having bad luck is what hurt their season the most. That's what happens when you have the top heavy team and you bank on specific people and they don't play too much. But shout out to Janine for making up for a lot of that over the course of the season. Same thing for Jacoby, these folks that were the underdogs or really the people who folks were sleeping on for a majority of the season, or that we just didn't know, like Jacoby, especially with it being his rookie season. But who knows with what Alex Damon has going on? But he has a tough challenge with Nikki DiMolanta, and I'm very eager to see how that match goes in 2 weeks.
2 weeks next week. Next Wednesday.
That's next week.
October 27th.
27th is next week. Oh my god!
Which means less than 2 weeks till Spooky Day.
Oh my god! The 27th isn't. Wow, I just lost all perception of time for a minute. I forgot what date was. Weird, ain't it? That's nuts. Next Wednesday again. They put Alex the Patreon match. Yeah. I guess they got to reward the patrons for giving us the Damon matches.
Speaking of which, since it is spooky season, remember, folks, because I know we're all movie fans here. Tomorrow, Scream drops on 4K, so pick up a copy of that. That is not a paid-for plug. I'm just saying this because I love Scream.
Matt totally got paid for that, but I digress.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The Thursday match. Now, Matt, I'm sorry, but we have to talk about the Den. It's the old guard, the OGs, which that clicked in my brain when the match is happening. I'm like, oh, the OGs, old guard. I get that. I felt so stupid, but they played press room, and
Josh Horowitz proved that he can still be in the Rookie of the Year conversation.
No, Matt. I don't. As much as I would like to agree with you, and as much he kicked ass, he carried press room in this match. No,
he goes perfect in the first round.
He was the reason they stuck with Franny McD in the second round. He was the reason.
He knew the Transformers question. That alone, Rookie of the Year status, right there.
Just give him the damn slice now. The Rookie of the Year slice or the trophy, whatever. Just give it to him. Because I knew that. Frances McDormand was in what Transformers movie? I'm like, excuse me.
she played the head of that SWAT team. Why the name is escaping me, even though I had to study those movies for a week or so. Wow, I'm upset.
Shout out to Franny McD. What a trooper.
Perry showed up for them. Yeah, she did. No, she did.
Yes, she did. She totally did.
The teamwork between those two really showed in the match, especially there. And I love how Perry, when we get to round 3, I'm gonna take the 2. That way, if I don't know the 3, there's a better chance you know it. She's honest. And shout out to the people over at LGR. They had Perry on this past Friday, and she did admit she plans on continuing to play, which is awesome because I love having Scary Perry in the league.
Right. And Malcolm, I don't want to make it seem like I'm straight dissing Perry Nemiroff. And if I came off like that, then I apologize. But like with Josh getting the perfect first round and him like nailing, because they dropped out the multiple choice twice, and Perry did know the multiple choice ones. But him getting the others, just going with his gut or just knowing the film, whether it's the Fargo, the Robert De Niro question, most City by the Sea, and like what Matt said, the Transformers question, it was something like, it was just he did a lot of the heavy lifting, I should say, in this, especially that second round. Malcolm, oh no, you're good, brother. No doubt about it. But it was also pretty solid for the old guard. And just to talk about them for a minute, speaking of the Den, Neil Logan only has Harper left to play this year. That's rough. That's one. I mean, it's one hell of a person to have playing your team.
Chris, we know where Suge is now because he realized since they only have Harper left. Remember that shower video? He's just crying in the shower in his Den hoodie.
With his Den hoodie. Right. He's my man's. He's currently filming more TikToks as we speak. That's why Suge took the night off. And no, Suge, stop trying to make some false accusations.
Chris loves Perry.
I love Perry Nemiroff. And shout out to Galaxy Geeks. Yep, all the mercs. I hate them. every single one. So I'm not a hater of Perry Nemiroff. I love Perry, but it's not too bad to say that Josh did the heavy lifting in this, especially going perfect and such, and nailing that 3 that put them over the edge. But I want to talk about the old guard because we can sit here and talk about Perry and Josh all night, but Alonzo Duralde and Mark Riley have had shorter seasons than usual schmoedown, especially for that.
Not shorter for Duralde. It's the normal length for Duralde. Let's be honest.
Right, but especially Riley, especially Mark, and because we haven't seen him in a minute. Like it's been a while since we've seen Mark, and they both played well, getting the 11 combined points at the end of first round. Sticking with 80s or going with 80s.
Smart move, brilliant move. They're both
missed one. They missed one, but
it was a Lost Boys question.
Yeah, shout out to the Lost Boys. Shout out to George Thomas. I know he's somewhere listening to me. But the and press room couldn't get the steal on that, so it's a godsend for the old guard. But they played well. Like it was a really well played match on both sides. It's just that Horowitz has been a killer this year. New York live event aside,
we all put an asterisk by that because we know he came right from NYC Comic-Con floor, working, doing his job, and had to rush right into that match. I put an asterisk by that. Griffey Newman's played great. I'm a Finstock Exchange show, but I put an asterisk by Horowitz's performance because I think he could have played better. But I still think Griffey wins. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah, but they sacrificed. We would have sacrificed that great moment that with Noom just going nuts. Brian in the chat, his last match was before the team's matches when he beat Liz. It's been a minute. That I forget when that match even happened. And yes, Brian, to confirm, myself and Molly Damon have one thing in common is that we both hate the Mercs.
Well, Griffey Nooms was also at the same event, but I don't think he had to. I think he had more time to prep for that live match. Like he didn't have to be there for work. He didn't have to walk around the floor talking to. I think he did a panel, yeah. But he didn't have to walk around the. He didn't have to walk around the floor or anything, asking people about how they feel about the match or how they feel about the event. What's it like being at this first big convention? Like Horowitz was actually working. Griffey got to go as just a celebrity and got to enjoy his time there for the most part.
Right.
Really scared me that Lost Boys question.
Shout out to the Scared Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, or 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Yes, and Griffey Nooms was at NYCC the night before performing as a Toydarian.
Watto!
That did happen. I heard
George Lucas podcast, people listen to it.
Right. Shout out to Griffey Nooms. But it's always it's always rough, especially seeing Mark Riley. Like, I know the whole Mark Riley conversation of, is he going to retire? Is his time done? That whole thing's still up in the air. And because like the GPA has been awfully busy doing their own thing, and that's where folks are pointing all the fingers at why Mark hasn't been as active in the schmoedown this year. But like stuff happens. It is what it is. But
and signing for the
Oracle fans, right? But it's hard, especially going up against a team like Preston. They played awfully well this year, and I'm excited to see them move on in the teams tournament. I want to see more Josh. I want to see more Perry, because I hate the Mercs, but I want to see more. I want to see more of them, And it's just rough to see folks like Duralde and Riley have their seasons end like that. And they got their 5. It's just they missed their 3, and they couldn't force Preston to answer their 5 or even get the question heard. So it's rough, but. The Den, they have Thomas Harper left, and that's one hell of a player to have left on your team. Thomas Harper, and we'll find out who he's playing at Spectacular very, very soon.
Next couple weeks. Let's see. Looking at the match schedule, we have Nicky Demolanta versus. I'm back in September. Whoops.
Yeah, it's Demolanta and
versus Damon, and then my guess is we will get. Oh no, Laura Kelly. So, some people. We'll have an idea of what that final match, and I think we'll get that final match as a pay-per-view in early November. Maybe while the one and only Jeff Alterman is in town trying to get me, Taylor, and Nick Harley wasted.
We'll see. Good luck to the quiz show. Shout out to Jeff Show.
Yeah, he ain't getting me drunk. I got work the next morning.
But I'm intrigued on what the future of, because the last couple of weeks in the show, we're talking about the future of the schmoedown. Like we've been asking these folks, our guests, like, what do you think of the changes going forward? And the changes for season 9 involve shrunken factions, if at all, if folks even want to be on a faction, or if folks are put on a faction, who knows? But the Den's a very interesting case, because you build around Thomas Harper, right? If you're going to do something,
if you have the opportunity to,
if you have the opportunity to do that, like Kate's not going anywhere, like as far as we know. And Kate seems like she's very involved in the schmoedown. Yeah. She likes doing it. But say hypothetically she sticks around, like she's not going anywhere, and the Den still lives on. You build around Thomas Harper, obviously, right?
Yes.
And the question is, like, do you just rock with Thomas Harper, or do you try to pick up the scraps of what you got? The good.
Remember this. Like, you can have, from what Christian's made it sound like, you can have 5 players regardless. You don't have to have a Star Wars player. You don't have to have you can have a team full of IG. You can have a team full of singles, and you can have a team full of Star Wars. Whatever floats your boat. But keep this in mind, people. Christian has gone on record saying we're going back to a league of majority teams and singles.
Right, because of the fewer Star Wars in their geekdom.
So,
which I still don't understand.
Yeah, because those are the 2 most entertaining divisions, honestly.
But we digress.
Yes, but the point I'm getting to is, does it make sense to build around a player like Harper with that in mind?
Because I don't even know if there's gonna be faction points or standings or whatever the hell next year, but it wouldn't hurt to have a champ on your squad. And for someone like Thomas, who by the end of the season is going to have one hell of a rookie year, regardless if he wins Spectacular or not. And he's been, and just from the times we've talked to him, the many times, because he's popped up on the Show Me the Reels and our show with Tom.
I'm pretty sure he hacks into our channels and just pops in.
Matt gave him the login code.
I did not. That's the thing. He hacked us like
Matt,
he did.
You hand out our login stuff to the channel like McDonald's does napkins.
No, I do not. The only person who's not involved with this channel who's ever logged into it, well, there's 2 actually, is Jesse Swift. There's Jesse Swift when we were helping out with his pre-wedding stream all those months ago.
Shout out to Jesse Swift.
We did that whole setup to help him out. We let him sign it, add his YouTube, and use our paid for so he can do more. And then Jeff Altman when we needed him to help cover the show. Those are the only 2 people outside of this channel who have gotten that login.
Sure. Okay. whatever.
Galaxy keeps up with you 110%. I am with you 110%. And we were actually talking about this post fandom the other day, because realistically, why is the faction with the best overall record on the bottom half of the standings?
So your problem is with the points. That's your thing.
We talk about finding the balance between sports and sports entertainment. Take the points away.
If there is one.
Yeah. But take the points away and make it about record, because then it's still about both. Because then the entertainment, a win means so much more than the points.
Right. I do agree with the both of y'all, or with Galaxy Geeks and with Matt, that the faction points shouldn't be a thing anymore. And that's because, not everyone's going to be playing in a faction next year. So it just doesn't make sense to do faction points, or to still do we're going to have a grand prize at the end, and then not everyone's in the faction, but they're still playing the schmoedown, so they don't even have the chance to win money or win whatever the hell the victor
here's what I'd say to that. Let any of these free roaming players, let them just if the free roaming players have a better record by the end of the year, let that money go to the free roamers.
Okay, that's just fair. In general, just divvy it up against whoever's, because we know it'll be a significantly less number now. Yeah. It's from if we're rocking with five a faction, and then say there's, I don't know, there might not even be 10 factions running around. There might be more than 10 factions running around. But let's just say the field gets cut in half. We'll rock with 50. That there's 50 people, and there's 3 factions. So cut, 35 people left. That'd be one hell of a chunk of money to divvy up against 35 people. And I just think you should eliminate that whole aspect of the game.
Realistically, we've been told it's going to be about. We've been told it sounds like we're going to have 8 factions again, and if the roster is being cut in half, you're looking around 50 players. So 8 teams, 5 players each. That's 40, and then that only leaves 10. Yeah. So it still works out mathematically.
Yeah, but at that point, just put 2 other factions together, because you only have 10 people running around.
See, but here's the thing: some players shouldn't have to be stuck being on factions, especially if they feel like they're going to be better as a lone wolf.
I think we've said this on the show before. Somebody said this. Shug might have said this. Another show might have said this. I don't remember, but this is not my original thought. It's like the NWO then at that point, where you have an allegiance, but yeah, okay, cool. Shout out to Shug. But you have your allegiance, but you don't necessarily always mention your allegiance. And if you're going to have 8 factions, 5 people a faction, if there are 5 people a faction, hypothetically, then you have 40 people. And then if you have 50 people cap, 50 people max, then you have 10 people left. Might as well just make 2 factions out of it and then call it a faction again. And then we're back at square one. And then we're back at what we've been doing the last 2 years.
The idea of these free roamers is they can do whatever they want. They can form teams together. They have more freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, I'm totally okay with that, with not making 2 more factions, because that gives us it's a perfect balance of what we used to love about the schmoedown with the aspects that we love now.
Sure. Right. And my only problem is my biggest issue with that is, say, I don't even know how we got to this point. But say you have,
I know how, because we talked about doing a build around Harper.
Oh, right, with Harper. So, okay, so using that, if Star Wars and Inner Kingdom aren't as important, I'm hypothesizing. It's just speculation. We don't know. I don't know shit. I'm dumb. But say with, I don't know shit. But factions, if they're going to be around like how the older seasons have been, right? We only had a couple running around. We didn't have 8, and those were like the OG lines then used to be like NWO centric. Jeremy Miller points out faction points should stay, but they should give bonus points for having a winning streak or more wins, like the exchange had for most of the season.
No, because that's harder to enforce.
And I think faction points should just take it away. It's not.
You talk about finding the balance between sports and sports entertainment. It's better to just go off the win-loss record at that point.
I don't even think. And see, and this is just my thing.
And hear me out. And then you keep a separate column for championship wins and whatnot. So that factors into when you like say it's a tied record. This person has this situation has a championship win, so they're higher in that standing technically.
I think we're making it too sporty. Like it already is very much sporty with the points and the factions, whatever. But like I always go on record saying OG Schmoedown before factions were introduced and there was actually something to compete for at the end, like where it was a story heavy and there are a lot of characters and stuff. Not saying there aren't now, but y'all catch my drift. Like I love that stuff, and that's why I'm here doing all this, because I loved when it was the Lions Den running around causing havoc, and everyone's just like, well, damn, like we're not in the Lions Den, so like we just got to deal with it, and just keep going and or make the fun characters. We mentioned the Action Army Civil War earlier. That was a great story. The Outlaws rise to the top, like stuff like that. Like with a new implemented, if we were to keep the faction things, I don't think we can do stuff like that anymore. And because like we're like coupling everyone or bunching everyone in the fives, and it's weird. But that's just my 2 cents, because I'm not too keen on leaning towards the sporty. Corey Cameron points out you don't have to build around Harper, but you at least have to keep him. Yes, at least you'll get guaranteed live events, and if it stands, a belt to start the year. If it stands,
he's saying if he still has the expectation.
I thought Corey was like, if Star Wars Division's the thing. I was like, wait a minute, Corey, you know something I don't. But of course, I know what you mean, Corey. I'm still bothered at the idea of less Star Wars in Inner Geekdom.
Me too, bud. Me too.
I know, and trust me, I've done a whole 180 in the last 18 months about the Star Wars Division.
We go back and forth because we're so glad it's shrinking down, and then we think about how the fact that that's costing us Star Wars and IG, and we're like,
Right. It's like it's give and take. It's like, oh hey guys, there's less people and stores are coming back. Oh sweet, yeah. But Inner Geekdom and Star Wars are essentially getting cut almost in half. Whoa, wait a minute. Like you can't have our cake and eat it too, I guess. That's our our thing.
Realistically, for Star Wars, we've only really had like 4 or 5 matches that weren't tournament matches, and other than that, it's been tournament matches. Right. So it hasn't. Star Wars hasn't really changed that much compared to what it used to be.
It was more than what we were getting beforehand.
It was more, but at the same time, it was the same. You're right. So it's a bigger tournament because before tournament you have the 4-way, and that was the tournament, the 4-way.
Right, the multi-person matches, right?
And can I just say, I pray to God that is something we don't go back to. 3 person in a match cap.
Oh, like triple threat, nothing more, nothing less. Or nothing. I shouldn't say nothing less, but nothing more than 3 people. Like I like triple threats. Triple threats can be fun.
Triple threats are fun, but like those 4-way matches, we used to get to decide the Star Wars #1 contender. When we get them at Celebration or the first one, it's just.
I know we've talked about it in the show before, like how those matches shouldn't count on people's records or whatever the hell. I do agree with you. I love a good multi-person match, like whether it's in wrestling or in the schmoedown. But I like 3 max. We don't need 5 people in the match. It gets clunky, especially with the old rules. Maybe that's my biggest problem. I don't like how the rules were going back and rewatching them. And it's like, it's like elimination and shit. It's like, what?
And then it technically, depending on what your points were, still kind of like last round, you'd answer points until you're ahead of someone, and it's just like it's harder to keep track of when it's more than 3 people.
And I get like it was a prototype then, and they're still working out the rules, but those rules were whack. It was weird. It was, but it's grown and changed for the better. And we're in a different spot now. And I'm glad we're not doing 5-person Inner Geekdom matches anymore. And it's not weird where Rachel Cushing has like the most overall points in the match, but still loses, But again, that's a whole different conversation for a different day. But factions going forward, the Den's going to be interesting to me. Seeing how Roxy picks up the stars and how she works with the stars would be interesting going forward.
The stars are going to look totally different than what we've seen the past few years.
It won't be the Odd Couple and Alex. Alex may stick around with the stars. Malcolm saying With the multi-person matches, I'm assuming that more exhibitions, which yes, exhibitions, great, cool. Let's do a 20-person 3-round match in an exhibition. That'd be rad. But mainline, schmoedown, where the records count and the points matter. No, let's not do that. Let's not have that conversation. Corey Cameron saying, are you guys surprised that there haven't been any triple threat or 5-way matches this year, even though they are faction points set up for those?
No, because the losses in those matches hurt you more than a win helps you, in my opinion.
I think when Christian pointed out the points for those, it was more so hypothetical. Triple threats, I'm surprised we haven't seen one.
It's in the rule book.
No, right. But just in case we got to that point, that's why they're there. But I'm surprised we haven't seen a triple threat. One player per size. Oh, that'd be rad. Oh my god, that'd be so cool. And like you eliminate the slices as you go, and whoever goes fast.
Whoever.
Oh, that'd be so
you do a normal round one, and then
you go from there.
It's round one. It's round one, and it ends after round two because how many questions there are, and just whoever.
Right. Oh my god, that'd be so fun. That'd be so much fun. Jeff, it's a great idea. What's up, Joseph Burrows? What's good, brother? I'm the man with the broken fantasy football team. Jeremy Miller.
I are hurt.
I wanted the champion versus champion exhibition at some point. That was great. Yes, it was. I love the exhibition. Probably one of my favorites they've done.
I think he's also talking about the recent Merlin Collins exhibition.
That too. That's another great one. Jeff saying obviously that means more round 3 numbers to compensate, but still full round 3 match that goes 8 hours. And that's why Matt's cutting round 3 entirely. Just do.
I don't know if we get 8 hours out of it. Maybe 3.
I know you're probably overshooting it, Jeff, but it would still be fun.
3 to 5.
It'd be fun. Maybe you can eliminate the 5 people at the bottom, whatever.
Yeah, eliminate the 5 at the bottom after round 2.
They'll figure it out. Do it, schmoedown.
Christian Harlow, talk to Jeff Altman.
Yeah, cite Jeff as the idea for that. Give him like a producer credit for that one episode. Corey Cameron saying in the chat, I think I would implement it for those players who may have only got one match to play throughout the year. I'm assuming like for the multi-person matches.
Honestly, okay. I think that's a good idea because it allows them one more chance to play. And think about it this way. A play to stay match.
Oh, a prove yourself match.
5-way top 3 performers get to stay.
Oh my god, Matt wants Hunger Games last 3 standing stay. Damn, my man wants a prove yourself match. That'd be I like the first half of that, Matt, where it was more so, let's do a match like that. Jeff in the chat making a digital, make a digital. Every manager does their talking. Estimate more time for Gucci talking 8 hours conservative. Word. Okay, I can rock with that. Just make it a pay-per-view then. Just do pay-per-view. People would buy that. Folks would buy and or watch that. And I don't know about Genius, but you have good ideas. Corey,
and that we're good. Like prove yourself.
Go back to some serious conversation. Yes, Corey, you're the genius. I don't know about Jeff, but I like that. I like the prove yourself. Maybe not like if you lose, you go away forever.
No, not go away forever, but you gotta wait until you can prove you deserve to be back in there.
Right. And I know with the FCL being a little bit different, the expanded rosters and that's a whole conversation that we can dedicate a spin from the reel to a whole different day. Because the FCL is about to see an influx of talent from the main roster, presumably.
That's what it seems like.
Right. That's what the vibe is. And
I don't know anything about this stuff, so
hey. Oh, and you're good. I'm not saying spill the beans, Matt, but just from someone who isn't involved in the FCL, that could be a really good thing and a really bad thing at the same time. In my opinion, because I really like what the FCL has done this year. Big love to everyone everyone involved in that. Shout out to Matt. If you lose, you're eliminated like Squid Game. Wait a minute, like Squid Game? You want people dying, Joseph Burrows? I don't know about that. Which I have not seen Squid Game. No spoilers in the chat. So enough of.
I saw Hunger Games once. I don't need to see it again.
That's a bag coming in hot. He said Korean Hunger Games, not for me. But we talked about the Den and Den adjacent for almost half an hour. Shug, I hope you're happy wherever you're at, crying in your bathtub. Let's talk about the Friday match with Lon and Dan. I almost said Lon and Don.
I know you have a lot of thoughts about this one, Chris.
I'm very upset with this match. Very, very upset. Not because Dan won. Great. Dan won. First person to 20 wins in the schmoedown. That's rad. That's so rad. But Leo Logan nailed it right on the mother trucking head. Like I don't understand sometimes, you know? Like playing the schmoedown, like Lon was up. Lon was up going up against Dan.
And you saw that Dan thought it was an easy question.
And so Dan, I want to, for those who don't know, or if you need a refresher on the match, here let me do this for you real quick. I'll be
Lon, you be Dan.
Right. Okay. So Lon, you just spun Batman, right? And you just got 3 pretty decent Batman questions if you've watched the Batman films. And then you get to answer the 4th question: who composed the score for Batman Forever?
Dan, what do you think?
Come on. Like
Jerry Goldsmith.
It's like, why would you guess? He said, like, oh, I'm not too sure. Jerry Goldsmith or something in that vein.
And you see Dan Morrell go like, oh, like he couldn't believe that he got this question. Like it was the easiest thing on earth. And I'm just like,
yo, I'm just like, I'm saying, and Jeremy Miller pointing out that Lon mentioned on Reddit that he was for sure it was another composer. That's why he didn't go multiple choice.
That's why you should go multiple choice.
Isn't that why? Okay. You know what, Matt? I don't want to rag on Lon too much because he does this trivia thing that we watch, and thousands of people watch this. There's already a crowd there watching him do it. If that was me, I would have missed all 4 of them questions because of the pressure, because I'm dumb. But the thing about this, and I hate that it's the first time I really felt like this watching the match, because usually
especially for Lon,
right? Like I'm so forgiving when it comes to that. Like, oh no, like I totally get it.
Chris is like, fine. No forgiveness here.
But like those 3 Batman questions that he was given beforehand, and Dan was on the other side of the screen, like, what the hell is going on right now? If Dan would have lost this match, the conversation would have been, oh my God, Lon's questions were so damn easy in Batman. That would have been the discourse. And William Harrod points out, perfect example was during Guy Dan. Dan tipped that he knew one of Drew's questions, so Drew immediately went to multiple choice, so Dan wouldn't get 2 on the steal. Exactly. That is exact. Thank you, William Harrod, for pointing that out with a great example.
Lon pulled what Houston head coach David Culley did against the Browns, where it's like they got a flag, he turned it down. They would have gotten a first down, he turned it down. Instead, they ended up on 4th down, and they punted.
Like, yo,
that you punted and you were gonna have a first down if you had accepted the penalty.
The vibe then, Jerry Miller points out that he was confident about the Batman Forever. So if he would have a different one, he would have been a little bit more focused. Okay. But if you were confident with that choice, like his body language didn't seem like he was confident with that answer. Like he just said a name. And now, guessing in the schmoedown has gotten people into far places. But Lon,
Joshua Kuga.
Yes, Stacey Howard. You know, like they're like, I totally understand why you just throw a name out there, especially a notable name like Jerry Goldsmith. But yo, you're up in this situation. You're the ball's in your court.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, Dan just kicked Classics' ass. He went to multiple choice twice, so Dan's human.
Mm-hmm.
And you get Batman, a category you and your manager Winston were confident in. You did a good job navigating your way through that.
3 out of 4.
Right, and you checked down the multiple choice once with the first question. Shout out to Vivica A. Fox.
Yeah, I was like, no, what?
And you guess on the 4th question that if your opponent gets the steal, you go in tied. And then at that point, you are begging on Dan to miss again. And history proves itself. Dan don't miss too much. You know? Why? I would love to see, like, what if Lon checked down the multiple choice and if he got the question wrong, then okay. Then maybe it's a 1-point steal for Dan. Dan still wins in the end. We don't go to sudden death. But if Lon gets the 1-point steal, Okay, then Lon wins because he would have had the 1 point advantage. Or no one gets it, and we still go to sudden death, and boom. But odds are, judging by Dan's demeanor, he obviously knew the answer. Why? Why? And Matt pointed this out earlier because it's Lon, and I don't know if that's because, like Lon's a very good movie trivia player, because he is. And this is a Lon Harris that, we always have this conversation. If I had $1 for every time we talked about this on the show, I'd probably have like $20.
This is why we've been wanting to show up all season, goddammit.
Right. It's like, which Lon are we getting? That's everyone's favorite question. Which Lon Harris is going to play? This is the
Lon we always want. Oh, God.
This is the Lon that Paul Oyama signed up the team with, and Corey Cameron says just plays into the delinquent character. And shout out, let's go back to Andrew Guy. We saw what happens when people play into the character for too much, or if their character dictates their gameplay. And it usually doesn't work for folks, especially when you have an extremely different character like that. Like Andrew Guy and the schmoedown stuff, or the delinquent in this case, if that's the reason why. Either way, dude didn't check down a multiple choice. That is my biggest gripe. Like, you don't have to guess. And if you still didn't know after hearing the multiple choice, that's fine. It's a less of a blow to you, because especially if you know your opponent knows the question. That it's just the lapse of thinking. And again, I am not Lon Harris. I don't play in the schmoedown. I'm just a guy who sits on his couch and does a show on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central that talks about the thing. So I'm just talking into the void. But it's just, I saw.
Go back to the professor, because that's when he got closest to a title.
Jeremy Miller in the chat, Lon might need a third character. No, he's fine with the ones that he's done. Lon's a great. He works the character really well. The professor, like what Matt mentioned, the delinquent, even though it took me a while to warm up to the delinquent, it still works. It works. People, it's over as hell, to use pro wrestling terminology. It's super over. People like it. But watching the match right here on this couch, watching it, and when Lon guessed at a 2-point question against Dan Merle of all people, and you're just throwing it up there hoping you make it, like, no. It's especially in a tournament match like this, there's a reality where Dan Merle got knocked out of the singles tournament, but that's not the one we're living in. Dan continues and wins in sudden death.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
By
Dan.
Brad Pitt was the voice of Sinbad. One of the most commonly known things, in my opinion. And he goes Kevin Kline. I get Road to El Dorado. I get that happened. But damn.
I just don't. And maybe it's because I wanted to see what would happen if Lon beat Dan in the singles tournament. ASG in the chat, what's up,
all
ASG?
hell would have broke loose. Because what happens? What happens? Because now what happens with the dungeon? Their golden calf are gone. Their two big guns are gone, and now you have to rely on them in the teams tournament. Like,
it would have thrown a lot of folks' thoughts in about
the dungeon season may have been over at that point.
But who knows? But we won't see that because of a guess. And again, he could have checked on a multiple choice. He could have missed it still. Dan would have picked it up, and then we're still having the same. And then we still have the same conversation that Dan won. So again, I might be just talking out of my ass, but just watching the mental lapse that Lon had, he just maybe forgot to check down, even though he did multiple choice earlier in the round. Again, it's just frustrating, and I finally understand why people get so mad at these. I'm not mad at Lon. Lon's fine. I'm fine. The second the show's over, I'm not going to think about this. Oh, but
you're going to think about it for at least 5 minutes because we're still probably going to talk about it.
Right, and then I'm gonna try to watch. Hopefully, and I don't know the score right now. Bills Titans, but thing that
you beat my ass in fantasy, like you fucking bent me over and called me Sally.
I'm very happy with my team, but again, that's besides the point. Real sports Tuesday nights, but Lon, I wanted to see Lon beat Dan. I wanted to see Lon beat Dan, and maybe that was just me. Like, I wanted to see Lon beat Dan, and the one opportunity he had to get a jump on Dan going into round 3, And nope, that's not what we were looking for. It is what it happened. It is what it is. Dan moves on. Corey Cameron thinks he's the best character. Of course, yeah. I don't want to. No, I don't want to. No spoilers. The person I'm playing in a different league has Derrick Henry, and my heart just sank because it's a really close game, really close week. So, damn it, Lon. I really wanted to see Lon beat Dan. I really did. It would have thrown this whole space into a frenzy. But it is what it is. It happened.
What would it have done for? Because let's be honest, all you action heads have kind of become a subdivision of Dan's fandom now because of his association with Ben. Because a lot of people who are a part of the Action Army have now become Dungeon fans. So now you're for the Dungeon, and now you have Dan to cheer for. So like, at the same time, it's got to hurt a little bit.
Now, this might be an unpopular opinion. This might be a hot take. Especially saying this out. I don't think I've ever said this on this show. I like Dan a lot. But, like, I wasn't. If I were to give a list of, like, my 5 favorite competitors in the schmoedown, Dan's not on there. And if I were to maybe even give a top 10, like, favorites, like, Dan maybe kicks in 9 or 10. Like, I just preferred other personalities because, again, I think of this. Dan Murrell is the best player that the schmoedown has ever had. Statistically, belts, and I will be the first person to acknowledge that Dan Murrell is the GOAT. He is. But I've leaned and gravitated myself towards the characters. And it took Dan a minute to get his and to find the blown up version of himself, because that's essentially the character Dan plays, which, I mean, all power to him. That's who a lot of people are in the schmoedown, and that's perfectly fine. But I was like, yeah, maybe it's the stuff with Ben and the danger zone, whatever. But this year I've been really keen on the Dan Murrell matches. And yeah, he beat my boy Adam Collins. Yeah, because your boy's a corruption head and it sucks seeing Adam lose. But I'm like, hey, Dan, like just every time I count you out, or every time I think like, maybe he lost a little bit, no, still got it. And
the last few matches,
but like the danger zone performances and them not winning tournaments or title shots, it's been a thorn in my side all year. And then this match, like, yeah, I picked Dan to win this, but just the prospect of Lon winning, I'm like, yo, like this could, like, the Facebook page is gonna lose their damn mind, Justin is the square's gonna have to be like, who do you love more, Dan Murrell or Dan Murrell's L? Like it's gonna be. Shout out to Justin is the square. Those posts are funny, but I wanted to see a frenzy. I want to see something big. I said this last week on the show. I'll say it again. I like change. I want to see new faces in the top spots. Like the schmoedown this year has introduced so many rookies and so many unfamiliar names that, like, yo, imagine last year, Matt, I'm like, hey, dude, you're going to love a guy. His name's Thomas Harper. He's in a rec shop in Star Wars. It's like, oh, yeah, who's that? Unless you know Dragon Con, like, odds are you're not going to know who Thomas Harper is. We didn't know. Before we talked to him, we didn't know who he was. He didn't know who we were. It's
we bought into before we talked to him, we bought into the hype of Dragon Con players weren't going to make it. Then we saw him talk on LGR. Then we talked to him, and we said, that man's a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
Yeah, every rookie this year, and Malcolm points out, if Janine beats Kalinowski, then Dan, you'll get that shakeup. I want to see that. I want to see Janine at the top. I want something new. Mm-hmm. I want to see Janine Marisol. Spoiler alert for the live event. I want to see that. Main event spectacular. Imagine that. Imagine the main event spectacular is Janine the Machine and Marisol McKee.
I'd rather see Griffey Dooms versus Marisol or Paige v Marisol, but I get it.
But still, I mean, I'll take those two as well. I don't want it and again, I'm going to contradict everything I just said. As much as I've been rocking with Dan this year, everyone's favorite at the beginning of the tournament was Dan's in it, then Dan. Because why would you bet against Dan Murrell? He's giving you reasons too. He's lost that belt a few times, but his record proves otherwise. And it's Dan. It's the GOAT. But I want to see something new. I want to see these newer teams, these newer people go and I'm not implying that Janine's new, but she's new to being towards the top of a title scene or of the title scene. Because that singles belt is the creme de la creme of the schmoedown. It's the bread and butter. It's the world championship. You're the face of the company, all that stuff. And I want to see something new in the schmoedown. And we've been getting a lot of that. There are a lot of fresh faces still in this thing. I just don't want like the same title matches and same thing because it gets repetitive. Yeah, it's fun seeing this person versus this person 3, this person versus this person 4, but it gets redundant and it gets repetitive, especially in the league where you need to freshen things up every so often. That's why there's so many damn rookies this year. And we were talking.
I honestly hope the majority of them stay.
So do I. Like we were talking like Gold Leader earlier. He's new. He could be in the Star Wars match at Spectacular. Thomas Harper's a rookie. He's the damn Star Wars champion. You know, like I just want to see something new, something refreshing because the schmoedown, like I'm not saying it needs it, but it'd be fun if it happened. It would be more entertaining to get an unexpected result. That's why like when DiMolanta beat Damon twice in 30-some days, like that was a talking point and still a talking point, arguably moment of the year. DiMolanta, his reaction to beating Damon, or that challenge even, that changed the entire game. Like not saying Andrew's new, but it was something refreshing to see Alex lose because he hadn't done it in a while. So again, I'll get off my soapbox. Yeah, congrats, Dan. Happy for you, bro.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, darn it.
All right. Well, Chris, let's talk about what's coming up this week and then get out of here.
Can we do Wheel Slice real quick?
Yeah, what was yours? Because I do have one for me.
Frances McDormand from Press Room and Old Guard, specifically for Press Room. I loved Franny McD. I've been a newer fan of hers, and I think Mark had mentioned it in the match where that was like the first time or one of the first times that Franny McD's been spun in the schmoedown. I like new stuff. Obviously, I just spent 10 minutes talking about it, but yeah, Franny McD, Press Room. That's a goodie.
Yeah. For me, it's Batman because of all the reasons we talked about. How do you not check down? Like you were doing so well, and how do you not check down? Yeah,
the and those questions were goodies too. Like it's fun. The schmoedown's really fun for me when I know the answers to the questions. It doesn't happen too often, but it was happening for the Batman questions. Amaru in the chat saying, you said DiMolanta versus Damon, and I was like, the one that happened or the one coming up? The one that happened in March, like Andrew DiMolanta, when he beat Alex, and that moment, the challenge that really swung things in Andrew's favor. Like that's like a moment of the year type shit.
Too. It was 3 Batman Forever questions in a row.
It's a classic. I got the poster in my bedroom.
That's the only Batman movie I own on 4K.
It's a goodie. People shit on Batman Forever, and I think it's unwarranted.
Okay,
it's a lot.
The reason I like Batman Forever, and you can shit on me all you want for this, people, I like Robin more than Batman. And having Robin show up on the big screen, even as horribly as he was played by Chris O'Donnell, meant the world for me as a kid.
I like those movies. The movies are fun. Plus, the fact that like Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones didn't like each other, or more so, Tommy Lee Jones didn't like Jim Carrey. That makes it so much
chemistry. And they had that chemistry.
They went to work, did the stuff, and then however they felt about each other, they left that off screen, and I loved it. It was fantastic. Amaru saying the old one, yes. Of course, we love Nikki DiMolanta over here at Spin from the Real. I've gone on record saying she's one of my favorite guests we've ever had. She's fantastic. Robin knew how to fold laundry. Yeah, dude, it was great. What's up, Bingus? This is Bingus, my roommate's cat. Carey knew what he was doing. Jones was a stupid Two-Face. He was playing a comic book character. That's what Tommy Lee Jones is
just
doing.
Remember, they recast the black man. That's all I gotta say.
Oh yeah, they did. I want to live in the universe where Marlon Wayans was dropping. I want to see.
Oh that. No, excuse me. They recast 2 black men.
Right, because you're talking about
Billy D. Billy D.
You're talking about Billy D. I want to see that universe too.
Hey, Chris, you want to know how you can see that universe? Go to your local comic shop and pick up Batman 89 the comic, issues 1 through 6 out now.
There you go. I need to pick those up. I've been reading Static and what was the other one? Oh, I Am Batman. Speaking of black characters, that's all I'm reading. But yes, Val Kilmer is underrated. He gets too much shit, and I don't understand it. But shout out to the Batman Will / shout out to Franny McD, and yeah. I think I'm gonna rock with those. I'm only gonna give one this week.
Yeah, I only got those 2 because you honest, Francis McDormand was my other one. So
yeah, Franny McD.
We covered my 2. So
hell yeah. And yes, Carey was a fun Riddler, and Paul Dano is gonna be absolutely batshit. I can't wait. Pun intended. Let's talk about the matches, bub. You got the schedule pulled up?
Yeah, I got to put real quick. Hey, I want to let you know, if you noticed in the flash either, that cow looked much bigger, like he's gained weight. I just want to point out it's a back shot, and that is a big cow as it is anyway.
Big ass head. Michael Keaton, which I mean, we all popped for it. Come on, like it was still pretty freaking cool.
I popped more for the moment where he starts to pull off and then you just hear flash in the background, even though it's no longer on screen. Holy shit!
That teaser's so good. Shout out to that fight music.
Real quick, Ezra. We don't have a teaser. We don't have this, but here's a behind the scenes. I'm like, this is a teaser.
Yeah, it's a damn teaser. And I love how weird Ezra Miller is. God, he was like what the hell was going on? Yeah, matches. We got predictions for this week. We will not spoil a Patreon match because honestly, I haven't seen it.
Neither of us.
Hi Jess. So much love. Right back to you.
What girl?
Yeah, it's a what girl autumn. Because summer is over and it's cold as hell in Chicago. Yes. Right. Give me the matches.
Laura Kelly versus Gold Leader. My favorite factions going against each other once again, as if the person who makes the schedule hates me. Winston, I love you, Brody, but I got Evan Bushcar. He's been on if it weren't for a word, he could possibly be the Star Wars champion. Evan Bushcar for the win.
Oh God. Laura Kelly. Oh my God. I'm going Gold Leader. Yeah. I want to see Gold Leader. I want to see Gold Leader Harper too. I just said I want new shit. But I want Gold Leader to no offense, Thomas, but I want to see Gold Leader be champ and be a chaotic ass Star Wars champion. That's what I want to see. That's what William Harold in the chat, lights about to go out. Sheesh. That's a goodie. I like that.
That may be the line of the night. Next up, we have Danger Zone versus the Untouchables. Ooh.
Oh God damn it.
Here, I will say this. Paige for Betty has the opportunity to end Ben Bateman's season here. However, I still don't trust our boy Drew McWeeny enough to give them the vote of confidence. I'm going Danger Zone.
The last time I went against Paige or Betty bit me in the ass. And then she came on the show and then
mocked you for it.
And knocked me for it. I don't know because I want to pick Danger Zone. I do because I mean it's Dan and Ben. I was just talking about how much I love.
It's the McQueen right now.
McQueen contradiction.
Hold on. Hear me out. Right now, Paige for Betty is Paul Oyama and McQueenie is Lon Harris. That's what that's where I view this at right now. Which McQueenie are we gonna get?
Look, for a pure chaotic standpoint, because my brain would melt. I want the Untouchables to win. And I know Amadou is probably looking in the chat like, yes. But sticking with Danger Zone. I'm agreeing with Leo Logan. I'm agreeing with Galaxy Geeks and Jeremy Miller. They all got Danger Zone. Remember, y'all, when we were confident when Ben Bateman against Paige Betty last time, it was it made Chris cry. But I'm danger zone. I'm picking Damn it. Paige is gonna eviscerate me if they win on Thursday. Go stream Happiness. It's already streaming now. What's on Friday?
Friday in the non-pay-per-view, we have David Del Rio versus James White. Del Rio's been on a tear. Del Rio's been on a tear.
That's a good one. These matches are really good this week.
Give me Del Rio. Honestly, give me Del Rio on this one. I feel like I can trust him more, especially since you go head to head with Chance last year, nearly beat him. Come back first match this year, kill it. Come back in the tournament, kill it. Especially after you get cut. Nah, bruh, nah. You've got my vote of confidence. I am picking Del Rio here.
Biggest question mark, or one of the biggest question marks of the year, was Del Rio's release and him getting picked up minutes later. And I want to point out Amaru. This is him talking. This is Amaru's reaction to me talking about Untouchables and picking Danger Zone at the end. Like that. That's one hell of an arc. I love that, Amaru. And then Joseph Burrows brings up that Ben's been so busy, he's about to go on tour. But we'll see. We'll see. We got a Danger Zone over here, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to see Paige win again. Leo Logan picks Del Rio. Jamie Miller has James. Diamond Dave is underrated. Yes, he is. Galaxy Geeks wanted to ask, do we think James should be a heel?
No, he's too much of a nice guy, honestly.
I mean,
I don't think that dude has a mean bone in his body and everything. Like, even with his time with Corruption this year, he's been like Taylor, and I love the Exchange. He's been like Taylor Robinson on the Exchange, where he's too nice of a person to be on a
so wholesome. You can't root against them,
right?
But I mean, in this case, I'm picking David Del Rio. Yeah, my man proved that he's like, oh yeah, let me do a whole day of shooting my project, and then I'm gonna come do some movie trivia and then win. Just give him some type of character. I'm down for everyone.
Character. Give him some wins first, bro.
But look at his competition. James White's got the shit end of the stick with his record, and I don't know all his opponents off the top of my head, but I know he's had some rough eggs, and Del Rio's no slouch. I'm picking Diamond Dave. That's a toughie. That's a goodie though. It's a good. That match is gonna be good, and they put it on Friday for a reason.
All right, and we got the pay-per-view. Well, we already know what's first for the pay-per-view.
Oh no!
Are you suckers ready to rage?
Okay.
What?
Oh God! So I've gone on this roller coaster ride that has I remember I was moving and I was coming from Oklahoma, coming back to the Chicagoland area, and I left Oklahoma hating Rick Radis. I'm like, Rick Radis is the worst, the absolute worst. And then I find out, there's been for the real chats that Rick Radis is going to be on our show. And I'm like, oh, great. You know what? Fantastic. I'm glad I'm not going to be there. Y'all got this. I'll watch from a distance. I had to work that evening, and I had to, couldn't really do much. I couldn't really watch, but I watched after the fact. And the Rash was such a breath of fresh air. I loved seeing the Rash on the show. It was a great, refreshing reinvigoration of Rick Rash. I'm so glad that he had just saw something.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
And then all of a sudden, Rick Radis takes over Frankie Alvarez's, and it's the Rager to be exact,
and rightfully so.
And he's in a bathtub,
We got that video.
No.
It feels so good to be chewing old daddy. Oh, I can't.
I want to. No, please don't. Oh God. Alvarez or Radis?
You want me to go first? Hold on. You want me to go first so you can get time to think? Because we all know where I'm going here.
Yeah, you're not.
I am going with my boy. I am going with my boy who I've rocked with since day one, who I pimped out to all y'all, to everyone who wants to hop on the Rager train. I am the original Rager fan. The behind the scenes work I did with that man and Taylor Cleek it was bar none some of the best stuff I've ever done. I worked like a sports agent to get him here. I'm glad he's here, and he is gonna be 3-0, Daddy-O. Rick the Rager Radis. Let's go.
I have a feeling that because this was a Cantina special, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so it was in front of a live crowd. I'm very interested to see how Radis does in front of a crowd. That's something that if I could take off my Radis hate glasses, I want to see how Radis does in front of a crowd. I think that's
let's get this guy in front of a crowd. He is not throwing away his shot. He is not throwing away his shot.
The odds are Radis needs this W. And I think Radis needs it more than Alvarez does, solely because Rick has been such a big character, and people are getting their eyes on him. And when folks get to see him, or when folks saw him at the Cantina, I want to see how that panned out and how he panned out in front of a crowd. So as the trucks go by my apartment, yeah. No, I shouldn't. I want to pick Frankie so bad.
But you're gonna.
Radis needs his win more. Yeah, Radis. Yeah, Radis needs the win so because, like, I think Frankie can take it. He can take a loss. And be
I don't agree there, but this is feud, Chris Anthony.
I think Frankie could take a loss and be all right. And I know, New York stand up. Shout out to E-Man in the chat. And yeah, the Radish is great, and I hope the Rash is the one that shows up at Cantina. I know Matt and I weren't there, so we don't know which version of Rick Radish showed up, I guess, but Radis needs the dub more. And I know this is the last time, presumably, that we'll see them for the rest of the year competing, I should say. Yeah, Radis. Yeah.
And then, of course, last but certainly not least, you got Mike Kalinowski versus Amaru Moses.
Christ. Oh, no.
Give me my boy. I want the Black IG champion. I am going with Amaru Moses right here.
This is such an emotionally driven pay-per-view for me.
We're all about representation, Chris. We are the only POC after show, Chris.
We are. And Amaru's been a guest on our show.
New Chris. Technically,
I do want new. Mike was technically on Spiff and the Real last week. But Amaru,
I'll step away now.
Well, E-Man's still gonna give me shit if I'm back against you.
Damn right, and I'm gonna give you shit too.
Oh man, Mike Kalinowski, had one of my favorite match of the year so far with him and Don DePani, and that he's riding off the high of that. And I know Changer's been making he's been making a mess of the inner geekdom scene recently. Amaru, oh man, I do want new. I do, but I'm a corruption head,
Ignore. I'm not sitting here like Suge saying just pick against corruption. You don't pick him. I'm sitting here. Look at us, Chris.
Doesn't give me shit if I don't pick corruption. Hold on. Right,
Chris. Look at us. Look at us. This is the moment we've been waiting for in the schmoedown. This is the man. This could be our first black champion.
Okay, here.
He is the chosen one.
I'll say this about...
Or excuse me, first black male champion, because Marisol is African-American.
Yes. Let me say this about Mike Kalinowski. He has to me, the Inner Geekdom GOAT. He's had himself one great year in Inner Geekdom. And he's my favorite match of the year with him and Shanju. I'll go with your heart. You beautiful artistic heart, Chris. Thank you, Amaru. I want to see you win, Amaru. I wouldn't. Damn. Yeah. But Suge's.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a hope too.
Shout out to PLD. Shout out to Call to Action. I was the ghost judge this past Schmo Bates. Damn it. I'm not gonna hear the end of this. What's worse, getting shit from Sugar, getting shit from the Moses brothers?
Pretty sure getting shit from the Moses brothers is worse.
Oh my god. Why is this so hard? I can't do it.
Stop it. Get some help.
I need help, bro. I can't do it. You know what?
Wait.
My god.
Third time's the charm.
I'm picking Amaru Moses.
That's my boy.
Stop.
I want to see Amaru take this, and I like what you said. I want something new, and I hope Amaru can show himself as trucks drive by my apartment. Like again, in front of a live crowd. My man, no stranger to TV. Shout out to Amaru Moses. What was it? Hollywood Game Night? Is that the show he was on? Like I want something new. I want something refreshing, and Amaru's done exactly that. And out of the Family 4 that we got from this year, Amaru showed the most promise, and he's the one to me that really stood out as like the character and the shit talking and the performance to back it up. I love Christy. I love Peggy. I love Jacoby. But I think Amaru's been and look at him, he's paying in title matches, you know. I'm rocking with Amaru Moses, but I'm probably gonna be wearing my corruption shirt on Friday when the match airs. So I'm torn. For the sake of the show and it's canon, I'm picking Moses, but everyone knows my love for Mike Kalinowski. He's still the IG GOAT, and nothing's gonna change that. But yeah. Shout out to Amaru, and I should put on my crafting shirt now, but now I'm King Contradiction. Let's wrap the show, Matt. Let's get out of here.
Well, with that, guys, just our normal. Hey, look, he's giving you that love. He's giving you that love. You know where to go. You know.
Yo, and I'm spoiler alert. Regardless of what happens on Monday, I'm gonna act like I picked the winner. So. Yeah. Spoiler alert, I'm gonna act fake as hell on Monday.
Well, as always, tomorrow we got real sports. I think it might be one of those early afternoon editions tomorrow because the NBA's back, baby. Sorry, yes. I had to.
You're good, man.
Really excited for that. It's what we've been waiting for. It's what I've been waiting for. Even though my Cleveland Cavaliers are gonna suck.
Y'all put up a fight against the Bulls in the last preseason game. But...
Yeah, but
okay.
But we gonna suck. I'm not sugarcoating it. Then of course tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon or night, time to be determined. The Dune Real Review is dropping. I got to see it last Wednesday. I'm really excited to share my thoughts on this film with you guys. It's what we've been waiting for over a year. God, gotta love it. Gotta love it. And then still on a hiatus is Real Geek Core. We'll get back to that sooner or later. I'm not worried about it. And then Thursday, Really Scared, talking about 2007's Halloween, continuing Real-Oween and the Halloween series marathon discussion featuring friends of the channel, Ashlina and Kayla Marie T. I'm really excited for this episode. I love when these two come on. So, yeah, and then I got to talk to Toby. My life has been heck the past couple weeks, but Saber Reels should be back next week or this weekend. I'm gonna make sure my damnedest is gonna happen. We got a lot of news to talk about. I'm really excited. I know, Toby, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, Brody. School got in the way, but I love you and I miss you and I miss Colin too. So, hey,
for everyone watching this, if you aren't subscribed to Wild Real Entertainment, please do so because, some shows are here, some shows are there, but either way, you'll get notified when we go live. Just hit that bell and you'll get notified the second that they might even warn you like 30 minutes ahead of time that we go live.
I know Facebook warns you. Occasionally, YouTube seems to be wishy-washy with it, but Facebook always wins.
Just like us, follow us everywhere. The social medias are down in the left-hand corner of the screen. You can follow Matt Watt Movies _Matt. You can follow me at C Anthony Lopez on Twitter. Follow the show's Twitter at Spin from the Real, and of course Watt Real Ent on Twitter for us here. Thank y'all so much. Shout out to Corey. Have a good week. You too, brother. Thank you so much. Jeremy Miller. Appreciate the love. Amaru, E-Man, ASG, Joseph Burrows, William Harold, Leo Logan, my best friend. Every single person who's been in the chat. We really appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with us on schmoedown Mondays. So for Matt Thomas, my name is Chris Anthony Lopez. We're running with the Bulls over here on Spin from the Real. We'll see y'all next Monday. Have a good one, y'all. Don't forget, Spin from the Real, not the pegs. Adios.